Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new week. This is the weekly fundamental outlook for September 15th till September 20th, 2025. Starting from the Forex Factory outlook on the calendar, we have the economic calendar showing us there is no high impact news on Monday, 15th of September. We have the JPY bank holiday. On Tuesday, 16th, we have the Canadian dollar coming up with the US dollar. 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, we're expecting the CPI from the Canadian dollar, core retail sales from the US dollar as well, and the retail sales monthly by monthly. And on Wednesday, we have our impact news covering up for the Great Britain pounds, Canadian dollar, and USDCAD, as well as NZD, ranging from 7 a.m. Nigerian time to 11:45 p.m. Nigerian time, which will focus on the CPI, BOC rate statement, federal funds rate, FOMC, and GDP on NZD. And on Thursday, we have high impact news where we have the employment change on AUD coming up 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time. 12 p.m. Nigerian time, Great Britain pounds is coming up on the monetary policy summary, MPC official bank rate notes, and also official bank rate. We have the US dollar coming up 1:30 p.m. as the last impact news for the day, which is the unemployment claims on US dollar 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. On Friday, which is the last trading day of the week, we have JPY coming up with tentative impact news on BOJ policy rate, monetary policy statement, and BOJ press conference. This is tentative. As far as I'm concerned, this week is filled of impact news coming up for this week, and expect to trade with caution and also expect to trade with proper risk management. Without further ado, let's go straight into the technical outlook and let's see what we have for the week. Last week was a very good one. It's fair, really fair, because we're able to grab some trade in the community and we're able to make some profits and cover up for what we have already. So this week, let's go further and see what we have, starting from the weekly outlook perspective down to the 1 hour or 4 hour time frame perspective. On the DXY, which is Dixie, US dollar index, throughout this week, last week, it was more of a range, and that has been the behavior for the past 6 weeks down the line. And so far, so well, what we can say about this is that the price currently is sitting comfortably at the demand zone. And what can we be expecting going forward is to expect more bullish momentum after a little bit of bearish momentum, as such as this, something like this. So we're expecting something like this on the weekly time frame perspective, and this is also important to go to a lower time frame to further see what reaction that could be given. So on the weekly time frame, this is what we have. On the daily time frame, this is what we have. We have the price creating structure like this, lower lows and lower highs, but creating it around an equal low level. And of course, we're expecting a bit of bearish momentum, something like this right here, to grab a liquidity below this low and then have a buy momentum. On the 4 hour time frame perspective, on the Dixie, what are we expecting to see? It is very serious that we have to look at this because it states more on what we're going to do with the currency pairs. This is DXY. Last week, we expected the price to move into this range. It did before we had a sell, and all of that followed. So far, so well. This is not really doing bad at all. It's following the fundamental, and we are also following the fundamental for the week. And what we're expecting right here is stay the same. As you can see, the price model we're dealing with is very simple. We have a dealing range between here, and we have a dealing range right here. So what we're expecting now is lower lows, lower highs. All this while, we're expecting the bearish momentum to grab the liquidity once and for all before we have our impact momentum to the upside. So this is what I'm looking at officially or personally. So let's go into what we have for the Euro US dollar. On the Euro US dollar part, look at the market from the weekly time frame analysis. We can look at it from this perspective. Let me show you. Last week was also a very good one for Euro US dollar of the group. We have this momentum from the gap trading at the beginning of the week and the rest of that. So it was a nice one. So this one, likewise, just the inversion of the DXY. We have ranging momentum since about 6 weeks now. Look at this. So far, so well. What we're expecting from here is to see a sell moment, a buy momentum, grab liquidity above here to start selling. That has been what we're expecting. On the daily time frame perspective, this remains the same. Without further ado, we don't have to repeat these words. We've done this time after time. We shared this last week as well. And I expected that we have the price moving at a very significant key level, which is the supply zone. And on that supply zone, therefore, we're expecting the market to actually sell from there. So multiple times, multiple reactions, and what we're expecting now is to see a sell momentum. So on the daily time frame perspective, it is the same. like what you're looking at right here. This is looking bearish to me, in my own opinion. I'll be expecting more bullish momentum, a little, just a little of it, whereby we can have a bullish momentum into this level and smash it down before we have further momentum to the upside or to the downside. So for me, basically, I'm looking forward into this direction for the week. And of course, this is daily time frame perspective. Let's further break this down on the 4 hour time frame perspective. Okay, on the 4 hour time frame perspective, we are already at that zone. It looked a little bit bullish, whereby at the opening of the market for the week, okay, this was for last week, and we've milked all of that zone. So I'm taking them out now. So we don't have multiple items on the charts, right? So currently, if I'm looking at the market from this perspective, I could just be waiting to see a little bit of bearish momentum in the market as the opening of the week before we have high momentum to clear the eye, and we have bearish momentum again. So ideally, I'm looking into more of a sell on Euro US dollar for this week going forward. All right. Now it has been creating almost equal highs at some point, and also it has been creating higher lows and higher highs at some point. So basically, on 4 time frame perspective, we may have a little bit of bearish momentum before we have the high, before we now have the we have the bearish momentum eventually. Something like this, and something like this. So if that should be the case, then it's good for us because we're going to be taking the action right there as the market creates the opportunity for us there. That is it on the 4 hour time frame perspective. Let's go to the next one and see our anticipation, or we can check on our time frame perspective as well. Nothing really much is expected here. I'm just waiting for the market to give a buy momentum. Simple. I'm expecting the price to give a buy momentum at first, and then we sell eventually. So it is very possible we have the price creating that structure, and all of that. So this is my outlook on the 4 hour time frame perspective of the Euro US dollar. So something like this, okay? Either ways, expecting something like this. So just to keep it simple, just to really keep it simple, we're not interested in plenty talks. All right, that is Euro USD. For me, looking at this, I'm coming. Looking at the Great Britain pounds US dollar, I want to share US dollar. All right. So Euro US dollar was good. And of course, Great Britain pounds US dollar was also talked about last week, and we made some profit on it. Starting from here, I anticipated a gap down into this level before we have a buy. And that happened officially in the market. And we saw how the price moved over 100 pips to this side. And of course, this level has been a supply zone ever since. I think from like 2-3 weeks now, I've been talking about it so far so well. When market traded down, we talked about it. The price revisited that level before it starts selling again, which is sold about 60 pips plus again. So far so well. It was a good week for us on Great Britain pounds US dollar. Now I'm taking out all the things we've done on it. I'm just going to talk about this a little. On the weekly time frame perspective, let's go to the weekly, please. Weekly time frame. All right, weekly time frame. This is what we have here. This for training. All right, this is what we have here at the supply zone, at the supply level. At some point at the beginning of this year, I was anticipating the price to get eventually, right? Still expecting the price to get there. But currently, what I'll be anticipating right here is to see the price reacting and pulling out from this price level. So, which means, of course, we can expect the price to actually still go a little bit forward, a little bit upward in that direction before we have that momentum. And if this looks too far, we have another zone right here, whereby we can look for the price coming into this range because of what? We have higher highs and break of that structure right here, and liquidity grabbed. We have price moving back into this. The consequent encroachment right here, it's at the middle of this zone I just marked for you right now. And what can we be expecting going forward? We can anticipate the price going into this range and start selling from there. So if it's going to sell well, I will sell into this range particularly. All right, I'm going to sell into this range. This is it. So which means I'm expecting more buy momentum here before I have a sell momentum on Great Britain pounds US dollars. So that is clear. And let's go to the daily time frame perspective. What we have on the daily too, it's important. Let's check it out. We have a momentum on daily, which was more of a bullish momentum for last week because this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if you look at it, it was more of a range, but a little bit of bullish momentum eventually, right? So To keep that simple, really, we have the momentum right there. And for this week going forward, what can we be expecting? It's not different from what I just anticipated on the higher time frame perspective, which is the weekly. Expecting bullish momentum right there, expecting more bullish momentum. Of course, yes, we have a level where the price can actually sell to. And if we have a sell momentum into that price level, we can actually still see more buy momentum, which is a buy opportunity, right? Around this price level here. So I'm taking this to the side, for example, showing something like this. Can you see that? So if I'm doing something like this, it just means I'm expecting bearish momentum, but this is much over 70 something pips. I can't tell what events will be happening over the weekend that will cause the gap to be this much. But of course, if we have some momentum eventually on daily time frame perspective, this is a very good spot to anticipate a buy momentum from. But that aside, I'll be expecting more bullish momentum on this particularly going forward before we have a sell momentum. I'm really looking forward to sell this off, waiting for the price to break out above this high before we see further reaction like this. So expecting the price to break out this high and then we have further reaction. And peradventure, if I have to do something like this, similarly to what we have on a higher time frame, just to cut it simple, I can expect the price to come in here and reduce my risk around this level right here while I'm using this level, right? And of course, if I have to do that and refine this entry a little bit more, I can use a fair value gap zone that is residing just around here, and I can extend this to the current market price and delete this away from the root. So we can have something like this as well. So whichever one that works for you, it is good. And eventually, if you're going to be doing that, this is about 100 pips on average, expecting momentum. But then the most important one for me is to see the price breaking out this high before we see a sell momentum. That is on Great Britain pounds, US dollar. So let me keep that simple. Let me recreate that. So this is what I'm anticipating regardless. All right. And let's go to the 4-hour time frame perspective on the Great Britain pounds US dollars. Let's see what we have there. This looks good anyways. And we have high momentum into the uptrend for some times, right? Filling up the entire void we have here. But to keep this very simple without repetition, I'm still expecting what? A bullish momentum, right? From here, just like this, I'm expecting that bullish momentum to just move this way, and then this way. So I'll be looking for a buy momentum at a lower price level, completely lower price level. So for now, what I'm expecting here is to enjoy the ride and let the market create the structure before I go forward and expect anything at all. So in the future, I can look forward to this price level, market selling down here. After it has buy to this level, then creating that sell momentum, that bearish energy. So this is what I'm looking out for this week. And incredibly, I'll be waiting to sit and wait around that. Okay. So we have so many price levels where we can have a buy momentum at the lower price range within this dealing range, which are the discount price levels. So to keep that simple, let's just expect the buy, right? And more sell momentum. And it's also possible for the price to actually just do a little bit of buy above this high, this previous high here. All right, this previous high, whereby the market can just create something like this and this and this going forward. So whichever way the price create this, it is okay. Let's just be aware and let's be aware of what we want to do with that outlook going forward. All right, on 1 hour time frame perspective, I'm expecting a sell going forward, and at the same time at this price level expecting more reaction in the market. So if I'm taking a sell momentum from here about 50 pips, it's enough for the first time the market is opening with a sell momentum starting for the week. Around this price level, I'll be taking the profit out and then expect the buy I talked about to break the previous high, then before we have a sell again. So that is that on the Great Britain pounds US dollar for this week. So let's go to the next one. Let's see what we have here on the that should be AUDUSD. Okay, at the beginning of this year, I was talking about AUD US dollar, that it's going to smash this level, and it did, right? AUD US dollar smashed this level. If you remember, we watched the videos, what we've created over the time, I've anticipated this to happen. So it has happened. It's still a very good bullish momentum. Last week, we couldn't catch this. Look at this. This was the expectation for last week, expecting the price to come here before it starts to buy. But the price did not come here before it starts to buy, and it bought for about 120 pips on average. So this is gone. We missed that entry. But of course, I said it that dominantly last week was going to be a good buy for AUD US dollar. So for this week, let's see what we have on the weekly time frame perspective, and let's put that together On the weekly time frame perspective, this is still my level. This since last year, I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this level since last year. I've marked this zone since last year. So this is September this year already, and I'm still expecting more bullish momentum into this price range. This is about 400 pips on average, no? 400, it shouldn't be okay. About 312 pips on average, meaning the buy still looks good. But before then, what can we find on the charts? What exactly can we still find on the chart? Of course, yes, last week was a bullish one for AUD US dollar. It broke the previous high, which we have around this price level. So if you are a very good student of structure, then right now we should understand that we would definitely expect more bearish momentum. This is very massive, of course, yes. But let's go to the lower time frame and see what opportunity we can have there. Look at this on the lower time frame perspective. Can you see my expectation? This has been since last year. I'm going to share that later. Can you see? So it's a model, it's normal. But how is it going to happen? It has been moving annoyingly in a ranging direction or creating higher highs and higher lows. And significantly, it created a very nice upward swing right here. So if we're going to deal with this, how are we going to deal with this exactly? On the daily time frame perspective, let's see what we have here. All right, we have a candlestick that's mitigated the entire zone right there. And of course, we have inversion fair value gap zone, implied fair value gap zone, which we can also talk about around this price level and around this price level, regardless. So within this zone, we can expect the price to still come back in here and give us that sell momentum before we have further buy momentum going forward on AUD US dollars. All right, that is that on AUD USD daily time frame perspective. On the 4-hour time frame, let's see what we have. And don't forget, for over a month or thereabout now, I've had this level for a buy momentum zone, which I'm still keeping there. All right. So it's still very, very much active and I'm still looking at it, checking it out. Anytime this chose to sell massively beyond expectation, this will be a good spot for me to buy off when that time comes. All right. So for me, this is the outlook I have on AUD USD 4-hour time frame perspective. But let's go to the 1 hour for intraday opportunities. On the 1 hour time frame, yes, peradventure, if this is going to sell beyond our expectation, then we have a very smooth level here where we can actually expect a buy momentum from. That means at this price level, we can expect the market to sell into here. From there to the current market price is about 45 pips on average. And if that should be the case, on 1 hour time frame perspective, we can expect the momentum to drop there going forward. All right. So this is also very, very possible. We can expect the price to create that at the beginning of this week, just create that little movement here. And from here, we have something like this going forward. So this is very, very possible. So let's wait and see how the price will play out these things for this week. And from there, we'll have more insight on what we want to do for the rest of the week. Before Wednesday, I believe this should be clear out and CPI is coming. So a lot of manipulations might happen before then. And let's be aware and be caution of what and what we trade going forward for the week. All right, that is being said. And let's go to the next one, USDCAD. Oof, USDCAD really. Okay, this actually moved well for us last week a little. Yes, just that we expected it to sell into a particular price range here before we had that sell. It sold a little, but not taking liquidity below this price level, but it continued to buy. Anticipation before now was to see it buy to this zone. So let me take this out to make it clearer. Last week was fair on this, so we didn't lose on this, right? So last week we expected the price to move into here before it starts selling. And currently, that's the outlook. But let's go to the weekly time frame perspective to start for this week. For this week, going forward on the USD card, nothing really much. It's just ranging, much of ranging, okay? Just like the DXY expectation, expecting a bit of sell momentum here and continue buying. All right. So because I'm expecting the price to actually still move into this range later. This is later. All right. So this looks good as expect more bearish momentum before I continue going bullish. On the daily time frame perspective, let's see what we have. This level, I've taken it out. This level, I've taken it out. Not interested. All right. So right here we have the momentum on daily time frame perspective. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, absolute range. If you combine the candles, absolute range. So far so well. This is a clear out zone. The market is in between the levels where we should be trading from. So what can we do therefore is to look for how we can make opportunity when the price actually come here. So for me personally, on daily time frame perspective, I'll wait for the price to get here before I start selling this. Apart from that, I won't do anything on this. But on 4-hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have on the 4-hour time frame perspective. So on 4 hours, we have major range right there, major range. And of course, yes, if we want to look at how we can make more impact on this outlook. Therefore, is it possible for us to have a strong bullish momentum here before we start selling it off? I'm not sure of that, but what I can still say about this is we can expect the price to actually create a low. This is the low here. We can expect the price to take out that low and buy to that level, and we have that sell momentum. This is still also possible for us to see in the market. So, which means ideally we can anticipate a movement at this price level, at this region here. We can expect the price to find its way into this level right here. Okay, right here. All right. So this is also very possible for us to see going forward for the week. This is on 4 hour time frame perspective on a USDCAD, and let's check the 1 hour time frame. Regardless, I don't think I should have much thing to do there. But of course, this is, like I said, this is in the middle of a range. All right, very terrible to take. This is also a very good smart momentum, smart zone here. So let's see it. I want to enlarge it a little. This is another smart zone here. We have a smart zone. Can you see that? Whereby we can anticipate movement from there too. So this is also very, very possible. On 1 hour time frame perspective, if you just want to trade this on intraday levels, this is also a very good spot. If we have a buy at this level, you can spot your sell off and from there move like this. Okay. So this is also one thing we can do for ourselves in the market going forward for this week on USDCAD. This is from a personal bias. All right. Can you see that? So this is on 1 hour time frame on USDCAD. USD CAD. Can you see that? So I'm just going to take it out and bring my chart to where it was before. So currently, this is still my outlook on 4 hour time frame perspective. I dwell more around there. So this is my outlook going forward for the week on USD CAD. Then we have the other one, which is the USDJPY. This was a very smooth one for us last week. And the market opened with a gap. Eventually, there was another block zone, which was here, which I was anticipating on the previous week, which I did something like this. And I was expecting the price to come in here before I look out for a sell. The last candle that created for last week or previous week candle was here on a Friday. Then the market opened inside the other block zone. So I took the sell, of course, yes. And I enjoyed the sell right down to this level and then second ride to this level. Okay. So all of that now, we add that momentum going on forward. Then last week, we also had another point whereby we anticipated the price to move into this range. I shared that with the community, of course. And right here was just the level we're anticipating the price to move into. Okay. And what do we see? We saw how the price move into that range going forward. Just a very sharp and smart entry right here. I don't think this gave any drawdown per se. Okay. As that level activated, we add that same momentum into this level. The price is coming back there, was coming back there to retest that level and all of that. But that's by the way. But it was a profitable one for us last week. So let's see what we have for this week. Going to the weekly time frame analysis. On the weekly, this is looking like trash somehow because what is this exactly? What exactly is this? This is more of a range, and this range is more over 7 weeks now. We have about 9 to 10 weeks of range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 to 9 weeks of range right here. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting more bearish momentum to grab liquidity below here because I want to see the price testing this level. Actually, yes. So on the daily time frame perspective, this is USDJPY. I'm expecting a little bit of sell by momentum. So what does that mean? I'm expecting a sell by momentum. This is the last low we have here. This was the last significant low that grabbed liquidity behind there. But then the price is not still moving. It's not doing anything great since then. So I can easily expect the price to do something like this, attack this high here, break above it. You find opportunity there and we move forward to this level right here to test this zone. So this will be my outlook, of course, for this one on the daily time frame perspective. On the 4 hour time frame perspective, what do we have? Does it look bullish at all? Okay, we have a rejection candle right there on the 4 hour time frame perspective. We add a rejection candle, which looks suggests that we may experience a little bullish momentum, which may actually look like this in the market at the opening of the market, taking out this high. Between this high and between this high, we can have the price finding itself around there before the market does this, and then we have this. This is also very, very possible going forward for the week. And then let's just keep the eye opened and let's keep everything within our risk management and control. So that is what I would say. On 1 hour time frame perspective, I'm not expecting much, really, much from here. Nothing really much. Just what I said on 4 hours is enough, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just creating this balance and a low below it. So that's that. And Do I have any other thing here? Nothing really. Nothing is here. So I think I'm done with this. USDCHF, nothing spectacular. Just we have that momentum on the. Let me see 4 hour time frame perspective. I don't want to spend time here. We anticipated this level to be a very good buy for us, and it bought about 80 something pips, or there about 92 pips, right? Before it starts creating that bearish momentum. So essentially, I'm not looking forward to anything here on 4 hour time frame perspective. I'm only waiting to see how the markets will create that bearish structure right here. I'm coming. Okay, I think is this. Okay, I'm expecting the price to create something like that. I'm coming. I want to, I want to just show what I have. Okay. So I'm expecting the price to come into this range later on and give this sell momentum from that price level. So ideally, there's nothing much to talk about here. We've done this multiple times before, and I can remove everything we have before now. So to keep it simple, this is just what I'm expecting to see right now. That is USDCHF going forward. NZD I'm not looking at this. I don't know why, but anticipating the price to move to buy from here at some point, favor the gap zone created. It did that. All right, so it has happened at a bearish momentum zone. This is the level here. It's creating that bearish energy. Is it possible we might actually have a retest of that zone going forward? Price creating that level for a bearish momentum too. So this is also one of those things that we can expect going forward for the week. And also this level, we may have interaction, even if it's not the best of the types of outlook I have. I think this might still also happen based on what the structure is saying, which is also subjected to change at any point in time. All right, that is that on the NZD US dollar. And let's check what we have here. I don't have to. I'm looking at this. Group pounds GPY. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. All right. On 4 time frame perspective, I think we had a trade on this going forward for last week. Okay. Expecting a sell from here. All right. I think it's happening already. So we had this class, we had a boot camp, and I was using this as an example for something. So basically, I'm not interested in this. So I don't want to waste the time. And Group pounds Canadian dollar, this has really stressed me a little because I took this trade and I shared with the community on I think Thursday or Friday. I think Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday or Friday, regardless. So on daily time frame, this is how it looks like, and currently is still what I'm looking at. I'm expecting more sell momentum from here, though the sell momentum I expect it to come, but I'm not surprised by the plenty ranging, buying and selling, retest back to the entries and the rest of that. On 4 time frame perspective, this is my outlook, a supply zone which I'm expecting the price to move into. And of course, we have eye level 2, which looks good on another time frame, which is here. All right. This is the first level we had that created a shift of that low structure. So that's why I was omitting it before. But eventually markets went in there, and currently my stop loss is still within that zone. But I re-entered this, of course, and I'm expecting more bearish momentum. Regardless if the price move ahead, so somewhere like this, it's going to take me out, I believe so. So currently, this is what I have here, and I'm going to keep that on for this week. This is Great pounds Canadian dollar, looking for bearish momentum here. And of course, the first reaction might be from this price level. Price might actually just do something like this, probably on Tuesday, Wednesday, might have something like this right here. It might bounce off, or it might continue to create that structure to the downside. So whichever way it is, let's keep it simple. It's going to be a fantastic week ahead of us. All right. The last thing I will talk about, crypto fancy you didn't know. I'm not. I should, but I'm not. Good. All right, so far so well on good. I've checked this multiple times before now on sometime last week, expecting a buy momentum from this price level here, but we do not have it. So it continued buying, creates all-time high again. It shifted and created all-time high. Can you see the price level 3673 right there? So what I'm having right here on the weekly time frame perspective, I'm going to take out everything I have here. On the weekly time frame perspective, let's be straight up to the point. Yes, this has been a very massive bullish momentum, and so far so well. It's looking so bullish. But so far, does that mean we can't find another opportunity here? When you look at what the price created from this structure, you can see that this is more of an ascended triangle, creating higher highs and higher lows and almost equal high levels. And at some point, it broke through that, and then it's creating momentum to the upside. So what do we have here? Well, we have multiple price zones where we can actually expect bearish momentum to come into before we have another buy. And for me, I'll be looking forward to buy on gold rather than to sell on gold. But before then, where will I have the buy? This was the last bullish favorable gap that we had before the I structure was taken out right here. This was the previous high that we had. And before then, we also have this high zone too. So can you see that? So I can easily expect the price to come into this range right here. into this range right here and continue buying from there. But for me, this is a massive buy, and I will expect a significant retracement. Though they'll say we can believe that it's really hard for gold to do a significant retracement, right? But then, of course, that is what we wait for before I jump on a buy on gold. Currently, the buy is carry, and yes, I still look forward to more buy, but I want a resell before then, a remorse sell before another buy. So currently, this is what I have here on gold on the weekly time frame. Going to the daily. That's what we have on daily. This is massive. Come on, guys. This is really massive. So what exactly can we be expecting right here? Is it that we expect the price to actually choose a price level like this? All right. To choose a price level like this, those levels we have between this high and this high that was taken out, we can expect the price to come into that range and give us more bullish momentum from there. Like creating a balance like this from here, we have a sell momentum from this price level, reaction here, this price level, and then move again to break all-time high right here. Is it what we should be expecting? What depends on how the Monday market week open and close on gold. But so far, so well, I can tell that this has done a significant bullish momentum in this direction, in the upward direction. So I'm expecting more bullish, bearish momentum, right? I'm expecting more bearish momentum. This is also another good zone. We just have multiple zones and it can be confusing. All right. So that's why I want to be very careful on gold right now. This is another zone that we can expect the price to come into and give us a buy momentum from there. Okay, this is also very possible. So I'm going to keep an open mind on gold and see the reaction before I see an opportunity right there where the market might actually still come to. So this is also very, very possible. We have multiple levels where we can expect the price to come into. This look deeper, but I think this too looks good. All right, let's go to the 4 hour time frame perspective. Let's see what we have there. On the 4 hours, yes, it's creating that structure again. Can you remember this? Creating almost equal highs and higher lows, creating that structure again. If we have this for multiple times, then it is really possible that we have the entire zone be wiped out and then we have more bullish momentum. What does that mean? We can have this level like this as a zone, we can have a reaction going forward in the future and good coming into this level and create that balance, create all-time high. Then we can have all of those structure and all of those reactions going forward. And that's to the current market price would be around 562 pips on average. And this is what I have on good for this week. All right. This is what I have entirely for this week. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're saying this for the very first time, I wish you all the best through the proper risk management. And I hope that you become more profitable going forward. Have a wonderful week ahead of you and God bless you. Bye for now.